Hi, I'm Caspar Lant. I'm an adjunct instructor at the physics department at New York University, and I'm a current Fulbright scholar at National Taiwan University this year. I graduated 2 years ago from NYU with a physics degree, and since then I've become really interested in environmental sensing networks and specifically how we can use artificial intelligence to calibrate those distributed hardware networks. Before Taiwan, I spent a year in Germany at the Helmholtz-Zentrum Berlin, which is a big synchrotron radiation facility. There I was doing condensed matter physics research on ultra-high vacuum systems. And following that, I spent one summer at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee doing similar research. So today I'd like to introduce a bit more about my research here and take you around my life in Taiwan. Hi, this is the lab bench where I spend most of my time here at the IOX Center. Why don't I tell you a little bit more about the Institute and some of the projects that I'm engaged with. So all Fulbright scholars are expected to have a host affiliate at their home university. In my case, that affiliate is Jane Xu, who's the director of the IOX Center here. And because of her, I've been able to gain access to an office space as well as pieces of equipment that I might need, like a laser cutter, a 3D printer, or a soldering iron, and each of those things has been really helpful in my time here to help me prototype my devices. One of the main things that attracted me to IOX Center in the first place was its interdisciplinary slant. It was initially founded as a way to bridge the gap between academia and industry, which is something I find really interesting, as most of my projects have direct practical applications. Beyond that, it's given me a place to collaborate with other academics here with both similar and disparate interests from my own. And so, for example, I helped one master's student evaluate helpful meme expressions, and another one I acted as a guinea pig for their furniture assembly project in which the pieces of furniture had registration on them to help people who have vision disabilities assemble them themselves. So currently I'm mainly engaged in a remote sensing project in which I build small distributed sensor networks and then use machine learning to calibrate those sensors. And then beyond that, I'm also working with a professor, Dennis Shasha at NYU, to design and develop a flexible, foldable floodgate system, which can rise to a flood level as it rises. And our hope is that that sort of foldable floodgate, which we call snail gate, will supplant the heavy concrete, visually obtrusive barriers that you see around public parks and floodwaters, for example, here in Taipei. And then lastly, I'm also working on a project which is a 3D printed pill dispenser that pairs with a smartphone app to ensure that the correct consumer is taking their intended medication. And our hope is that through that process we'll curb both opioid addiction and diversion. Now that we've had a chance to learn a bit about what I do here in the lab and my research projects, why don't we take a walk outside and explore the city of Taipei. In addition to my research efforts, I've also spent a lot of time exploring the island of Taiwan in my free time. For example, I did a solo trip 2 months ago around the island, a Huandao, on my bike. That was an incredible experience. I got to taste all the local flair in each city, which has its regional specialties. And beyond that, I've spent a lot of time hiking in the mountains that surround Taipei. One of my favorite things about this city is that it has these tendrils of mountains that come in that not only prevent excessive urban growth and prevent Taipei from becoming a flat pancake, but it also means that the closest mountain to you is usually no more than 15 minutes away. And so sometimes when I'm feeling sort of unproductive at work and I just need to get my blood flowing, I'll just run up the mountain really quickly and run back down and get the blood going to my head and then go back into the office. There's no way I could have done that in any of the other cities that I've ever lived in. Like many countries in Asia, Taiwan has a super vibrant food scene, and beyond being really, really tasty, it's also affordable. The city is exploding with opportunities to eat. Also, I eat out almost 100% of the time. And that has enabled me to make local connections with people in my neighborhood and also try new dishes every day. So now I have my favorite spots. Another huge benefit of being in Taiwan is that it's really put sort of a good polish on my Chinese. When I first got to Taiwan at the beginning of my Fulbright grant 6 months ago, I enrolled in classes at Taiwan University's CLD program, it's the Chinese language division. It was an intensive course, so 15 hours a week, 3 hours a day. And I think that kind of intensity at the beginning of my grant really helped me sort of set the pace for my year here and give me a schedule to work around when things otherwise would have been a little bit too free flow at the beginning before I'd made those academic connections. So as part of the Fulbright program, everyone needs to have an academic or professional affiliation. I naturally gravitated to NTU, it being the top university in Taiwan. I also really loved the idea of being on a university campus again and being able to interact with people from all stages in their academic careers.
看起来很好。
Being on a big campus like this gives you all kinds of possibilities as to people you can interact with and facilities that you can utilize. I love spending time on NTU's campus. I come here almost every day, whether or not I necessarily have to. So to give you an idea of the kinds of interactions that you might have on campus, for example, a few months ago when I was studying at CLD, a freshman came up to me and asked if I could give a presentation in their English class. And so the next day I was able to have a conversation with her whole class about what life was like in the US, and they asked me things about my favorite basketball players. And it was great to feel that I was contributing to their education and also learning about what education is like in Taiwan. One fantastic aspect about being here has been the way that the general public treats science as an important endeavor. I think the average person in Taiwan understands how critical science and technology is to the health of this nation's economy and its security as well. So I've enjoyed my time here in Taiwan so much that I've applied for a gold card, which is kind of a path to a permanent residency here. It would enable me to live and work here for another 3 years. And it's given to people with special skills in the sciences. So I hope I get it and I'm able to return here after my studies and my Fulbright. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a chance to learn a bit more about me and my research, as well as what National Taiwan University has going on and what it has to offer.